Oh, what? Oh, man. What? I gotta get up. Jeez. Oh, shut up. Oh. Oh, man. Do I have to get up now? I guess so. Welcome to our latest installment. Today is the day. A warm welcome to each and every one of you. This is the start of the winter training series, the Running Guru Show. My name is Donato, aka the Reluctant Guru, and as I mentioned on one of my previous posts, I'm going to go through 5 topics what aren't normally talked about in a lot of vlogs, blogs. So I'm going to cover some things that are not that conventional. So I'm going to cover 5 topics which I do every day, hence the title, Today is the Day. When we come to running and training and endurance running, there's lots of topics and things that people cover on, and a lot of the focus I've found is all about the physicality and the training and how the metabolism, all that kind of stuff, and the science. It's all fabulous, fantastic. But I'm going to be covering some topics that I've not seen covered in any detail for runners, and things that are covered. And as I say, it's things that I do every day, and I've been doing this for a long time, long before I was running. The first topic I'm going to be covering on, the first topic is sleep. Yeah, you saw that intro, me jumping out of bed first thing in the morning, yeah, full of the joys of spring. Yeah, most of my training is first thing in the morning, 5 a.m. or 6 a.m, whatever time in the morning before I go to work. Depending on where I'm working, I have a particular schedule of where I need to get up and go to work. So sleep is essential as part of our daily training. You are running that day or not running that day, it's important that we get a good amount of sleep each day. Now the thing with sleep is obviously we crave it. You know, it's one of these things that it helps build our immune system, it balances our hormones and all that kind of stuff. So it's a physiological instinct, a bit like hunger, that we need. Now, you may be watching this, you've stumbled across it because you may have trouble sleeping. I've had trouble sleeping in the past. I think everybody has in some way. And obviously I'm not here as a sleep psychologist to cure the ailments of sleep. I'll go through some hints and tips that have helped me. But essentially, you know, a lot of issues that I've had in the past that are difficult for me to get sleep is that my mind's too busy from the day's activities. A lot have been going on, and I need something to calm the mind. You know, there's anxieties, pressures from everyday life, and the irony is that the harder we try to get to sleep, the harder it becomes. So what I've found, I need to relax my active mind in order to drop off to sleep, and there's all sorts of ways to help that. But firstly, in terms of helping relax the mind, I need a quick sip of my tea. Today's tea is ginger and lemon, very nice and zingy. In terms of tea, I've heard that chamomile tea is a good thing that helps relax our bodies and helps people to go to sleep. Maybe you want to leave some comments and post down here what things you might take to help you sleep, help you relax the mind. I've often found warm milk helps as well, or Ovaltine, all types of things. You know, warm drinks sometimes help people go to sleep. But obviously to help us, we need to be less reactive when you can't sleep. So for me, when the times I've had issues trying to get to sleep, I sometimes get angry with myself. Oh, I can't get to sleep, and I'm tossing and turning. And then that builds up the stress and anxiety, and it means I don't get much sleep. Interesting fact is that, as I mentioned, sleep is essential as part of the training. When I go out running, I wear a Fitbit tracker, and this monitors me 24/7, and it monitors my sleep and my sleep patterns, and I've got myself into a good sleep pattern. And as I say, it's taken me many years to get into this pattern, but what it's shown, there's various stats that the app shows, and fascinating facts. And as I say, I don't stress about it. I don't monitor it every day or whatever, but sometimes I go in maybe once every few weeks or month, or it sends a little notification that an interesting fact is apparently I get about an hour and a half extra sleep if I've been running that day. If you do some form of exercise helps to sleep. It's chicken and egg. If you sleep better, you get good exercise, and if you get good exercise, you get good sleep. And it's not necessarily always worked that way, but it works for me. How much sleep do we need? It's different for different people. Some people, there was a story, I think one of the old prime ministers of UK was only sleeping for 4 hours a day, still managing the job to run the country, so 4 hours sleep. And for some people, 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours, what's a good amount of sleep? What I do know is I received a email, and I won't mention the brand or the race that was involved or whatever, but it was fascinating that certainly in our youth, and there's a lot of machoism and whatever that, a bit like some people say lunch is for wimps, but no, you need to have a lunch. They say sleeping is for wimps. I can sleep when I die. And this person has suddenly dawned upon them now that they are a fitness trainer, I think a yoga teacher, whatever, all that types of things, that they've worked out that sleep is essential. For me, it isn't about being macho and getting away with as little sleep as possible and being out on popsicles. It all comes down to what priority your running, training life is. But for me, as I said, in terms of all these talks that I'm going to be going through, and this one being about sleep, it's not just essential for running. I think it's essential for life and for living, that a good night's sleep puts us in a good frame of mind for the following. And if you're not getting a good night's sleep, as I've often not had a good night's sleep, I've found the best thing for me is not to stress about it, not to worry about it, just to move on. If I didn't sleep well last night, I try not to stress about it the following day. I just forget about it and move on. And it's all about being in the present and being in the moment. Speaking of which, I need to be in the moment and have another cup. What do I mean about being in the moment? Like right now, all I'm thinking about is talking to you. Yes, you, Rich, Andy, Katie, Jeffrey, yeah, all of you. I'm talking to you. And if I haven't mentioned your name, feel free to leave some comments and I'll mention you maybe in the next one. But yes, it's been in a moment. So right now I'm talking to you, looking at the camera, looking at me on YouTube. That's all I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about what session I may have tomorrow at 6 a.m. or what I'm going to be doing at the weekend. I'm thinking about what I'm doing right here, right now. And a lot of the topics I'm going to be covering is all about being in the moment. Now, I needed some helps and tips that help with running. As I say, on those of you who do get a good night's sleep, maybe you want to share with us some hints and tips of what help you to sleep. And I remember for me personally, obviously having a number of children, I've learnt more often from my children than I have from my university degree in terms of lectures and lessons there in life. I've learnt more in life often from my children, and one that we help when we have young kids is getting them into a pattern to go to sleep. And I remember the pattern would be, and this might sound pretty obvious, but if often applies, you can apply it to when we grow adult, but the pattern for the children, obviously you want to get them to sleep early, that they want them to get a good night's sleep because they're growing, and as children you want them to sleep well and grow. That the pattern would be, and as I say, I'm just going back on memory now, I've got no notes here, it's all from my memory, yeah. I might be 56, but there's still a bit of memory up here, is that first thing is you would feed them, have some food, then they would have a hot bath, and they would take them to bed, read them a story, and then switch the light out and they would go to sleep. That wouldn't happen straight away. There'd be a pattern, sometimes they'd be crying, they'd want some attention, but you get them into the pattern that it'd be eat, hot bath, story time, sleep. And you do that every day, and after a period of time they get into the pattern, and sometimes they fall asleep while you're telling them a story, sometimes they then don't need a story and they just go to sleep, and sometimes they don't need a hot bath after they just eat, go to bed and fall asleep, because that's the pattern they've gotten into. So it's the same for us as adults. For me, if I want to get a good night's sleep and I know I'm going to be up at 5 a.m, I endeavour to get to bed earlier. So it's not up till, I'm not up till 10, 11, 12 at night burning the midnight oil and having that quote, as I said earlier, that I can sleep when I die. If I'm needing to put a hard training session in at 5 a.m, I want to make sure I've got a good night's sleep. Yeah, so it's not about just getting a good night's sleep before race day. It's about getting a good night's sleep throughout each day as part of the training. So there are many, you know, we live in a world of apps. There's an app for everything. Yeah, as I say, I use the Fitbit just to monitor my sleep. There's little things in there where there's apps you can download to help you breathe and to regulate. And there's even apps that help you to get you into the mood. There's music, there's soft music, there's all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things that we can do to help us to go to sleep. But the key thing is about relaxation, being in the moment, feeling good and wanting to go to sleep. Now, if you've found this really dull and really uninteresting, you've probably fallen asleep. So you could use this vlog to watch before to send you to sleep. I know, yeah. However, if you found this terribly exciting and informative, then give it a thumbs up, likes, and subscribe to my channel. It is free, and I'm going to be doing the next 4 in this series, in the Winter Run series. As I say, today is the day. Embrace the day, make the most of each day, and I look forward to seeing you on the next vlogcast, podcast, whatever we want to call this, because wherever you are, whatever you do, get a good night's sleep and keep running! That's it, guys. Yeah. We're done now. I'm off to go to bed.